You learned music from your father, didn't you? A lot of stuff you learned in the early days.
Yes, Dad was convinced always I was going to be a road sweeper, you see. He always told me, very encouraging with Dad, you see.
Yeah.
So you'd turn out to be a bloody road sweeper, will you? I'll tell you that.
Is he Yorkshireman?
Yeah.
Ah, lovely.
You're right, bloody Yorkshire.
Peter Sellers remains one of the most remarkable figures in the history of comedy and film. A man of extraordinary talent and deeply troubling contradictions, Sellers rose from British radio stardom to become an internationally recognized actor known for his ability to disappear into roles. He was a master of voice, disguise, and character, able to inhabit multiple personalities within a single film. Yet behind the brilliance was a complex, often tormented individual whose erratic behavior alienated friends, family, and colleagues. From Inspector Clouseau to Dr. Strangelove.
And you have been in more than 50 films in the last 30 years. Do you have a single favorite role or film?
Well, aside from being there, I think the film I most enjoyed being in was Dr. Strangelove.
Richard Henry Sellers was born September 8, 1925, in Southsea, England. His parents were vaudeville performers, and the stage was a part of his life from birth. Growing up in the wings of theaters and music halls, Sellers was exposed early to performance and mimicry. He learned to imitate accents, gestures, and voices with uncanny precision. These skills later defined his career. He was particularly close to his mother Peg, whose overwhelming influence shaped his personalities in ways both constructive and damaging. Sellers developed a profound sense of insecurity, a yearning for approval, and a desperate need to please. These traits remained with him throughout his life and often contributed to his personal and professional difficulties. After serving in the Royal Air Force during World War II, where he entertained troops with impressions and skits, Sellers found his first major success in radio. He joined the Goon Show in 1951, a surreal, anarchic BBC radio comedy series that became a cultural phenomenon. Alongside Spike Milligan and Harry Seacombe, Sellers created absurd characters with bizarre voices, showcasing his exceptional vocal range and comic timing. The show ran for nearly a decade and established Sellers as one of Britain's most inventive comedic minds. Sellers began transitioning to film in the 50s, appearing in British comedies such as The Ladykillers, I'm All Right, Jack, and The Smallest Show on Earth. In I'm All Right, Jack, he played the dogmatic union shop steward Fred Kite, a performance that earned him a BAFTA award and wider recognition. His comic style, dry, eccentric, and steeped in character, set him apart from more traditional leading men. Sellers had a breakthrough in The Mouse That Roared, a satirical comedy in which he played 3 different roles: a duchess, a military leader, and the prime minister of a fictional European microstate. This performance demonstrated his appetite for playing multiple parts and his gift for satirical impersonation. Their next collaboration, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, remains one of Sellers' most iconic achievements. In the dark Cold War satire, Sellers played 3 characters: British RAF officer Lionel Mandrake, the U.S. President Merkin Muffley, and the titular nuclear-obsessed ex-Nazi Dr. Strangelove. Each performance was uniquely crafted, from Mandrake's polite restraint to Muffley's exasperated diplomacy to Strangelove's twitchy madness. Sellers was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor, and the film solidified his status as one of cinema's most talented and unpredictable performers. Ironically, his most enduring character was one he reportedly grew to loathe, Inspector Jacques Clouseau in The Pink Panther. The film was meant to highlight David Niven, but Sellers' portrayal of the bumbling French detective stole the show. With his exaggerated accent, slapstick physicality, and comically misplaced confidence, Clouseau became a phenomenon. The Pink Panther's success led to sequels, including A Shot in the Dark, The Return of the Pink Panther Strikes Again, and others. Though the character brought Sellers immense popularity and financial success, he often resented the role. He felt Clouseau reduced him to a cartoon figure and detracted from the more serious roles he aspired to. Nonetheless, his performance as Clouseau remains one of the most beloved in comedic cinema. Despite the franchise's success, working on the Pink Panther films was often tumultuous. Sellers' relationship with director Blake Edwards deteriorated as the series went on. Edwards described their collaboration as both fruitful and excruciating, marked by creative brilliance and emotional volatility. Sellers frequently demanded script changes, left productions in frustration, or simply refused to perform scenes he didn't like. His behavior disrupted filming and tested the patience of cast and crew. Throughout his career, Sellers developed a reputation for being exceptionally difficult to work with. His co-stars and directors described him as moody, controlling, and unpredictable. He would often change his mind about a role after filming had started, disappear from sets without explanation, or become hostile if he felt creatively challenged. Sellers could be charming and gracious one day, cold and cruel the next. Herbert Lom, who played Chief Inspector Dreyfus in the Pink Panther series, recalled Sellers' erratic behavior and ego clashes. Other collaborators described him as emotionally fragile, hypersensitive to criticism, and obsessively jealous. During the production of The Ghost in the Noonday Sun, Sellers' behavior became so disruptive the film was nearly abandoned. Director Peter Medak, who worked with him on the film, later described the experience as a professional and personal nightmare. Sellers' personal insecurities often spilled into his professional relationships. He struggled with a need to control every detail of a production and resented anyone who challenged his authority. At times, he seemed to lack empathy for those around him, using manipulation or silence to assert dominance. Sellers' personal life was as chaotic as his professional one. He married 4 times and had several tumultuous relationships. His marriages were marked by jealousy, control, and emotional instability. He was known to be obsessively possessive and often accused his wives of infidelity without evidence. His second marriage to Swedish actress Britt Ekland was especially volatile and ended acrimoniously. Sellers also suffered from serious health problems, including multiple heart attacks. He had his first major heart attack in 1964 at just 39 years old. Though he survived, the incident exacerbated his already fragile mental state. He became increasingly dependent on astrology, spiritualism, and even seances, making decisions based on horoscopes and tarot readings. Friends and colleagues found his reliance on mysticism baffling, but for Sellers it was a way to impose order on his chaotic inner world. Beneath the surface, he was a man struggling with his own identity. He once confessed in an interview that he had no real personality of his own and could only exist through his characters. This comment, often repeated in biographies, speaks volumes about the inner emptiness he felt. Acting was not merely a profession, it was a refuge, a means of escape from himself. In 1979, he delivered one of the most acclaimed performances of his life in Being There, directed by Hal Ashby. He played Chance, a simple-minded gardener whose naive remarks are mistaken for profound wisdom by the political elite. The film was a critical success and earned Sellers a Golden Globe for Best Actor and another Academy Award nomination. On July 24, 1980, Sellers died of a heart attack in London. He was 54. His death came just as he seemed poised for a new phase in his career, one that might have seen him finally shed the comic mask and embrace a broader artistic legacy. Legacy.
You never said, did you? Not many people know that. I mean,
no. Peter Sellers said that.
Did he?
Peter Sellers, yeah, because I'm always full of information and facts. You know, if you mention something, I said, you know, and he was the first. Peter always had the new gadgets, right?
Yes.
So he was the first one to have an answer machine. I called him one day, he wasn't in, and there was me saying, my name is Peter Michael Caine. I just want you to know that Peter Sellers is not in. Not many people know that.
He left behind a legacy that's both dazzling and troubling. His best performances are masterclasses in comic timing, character immersion, and transformation. He influenced a generation of actors and comedians, from Rowan Atkinson and Steve Martin to Sacha Baron Cohen and Mike Myers. Yet his life was also a cautionary tale. His genius came at the cost of personal happiness and meaningful relationships. He burned bridges, isolated himself, and often allowed insecurity to sabotage success. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Peter Sellers' legacy is still appreciated by younger fans of comedy? Let us know in the comments section below.